Hello, welcome to the Roundtable. Have you been too busy to keep up with the latest global issues? Then please stay tuned just for half an hour and you'll catch up with what you have missed last week. Here are today's guests. We are joined by Professor Kim Hannah. Welcome back, Professor Kim.
Thanks for having me again.
We are also joined by Professor Lee Kyung-suk. Welcome to the Roundtable.
It's my pleasure to be back here.
Wars are taking place across the world. Drones are being employed as a new weapon to change modern warfare. Recently, North Korea unveiled new suicide drones, claiming that it developed them with its own technology. When talking about drones, many people will think of remote control, small flying toys. But firstly, we have every reason to be really concerned about the lethal aspects of drones in military warfare, right?
Right, yeah. So the definition of military combat drones,
right.
it's really straightforward and intuitive. So the military drones are also known as unmanned aerial vehicles. These are the aircraft without a human pilots on board.
Right.
It's really straightforward.
Right.
And a couple of purposes that why the states are using military drones. The first, definitely a really important mission is the reconnaissance and surveillance purpose, and also for in terms of about intelligence gathering and target acquisition and combat operations and search and rescues. These are all kind of the objectives that the states are using military drones. In these drones, they can carry bombs on this small drones and also a big aircraft-sized drones. It's straightforward to think about what the military drones are, and these are using for particular military operation missions in the warfares.
I see. Professor Kim, personally, I realized the arrival of drones in our real life by watching some spy movies in the past, right? But now it seems like the drones are integral part of modern warfare, in such as the Ukraine war and the war between Israel and Hamas in Gaza Strip, right? Have drones actually revolutionized modern warfare, and are they extensively being used?
I think in many ways these military drones are becoming game-changing weapons for both the Russia-Ukraine war and in the Middle East, especially because they can strike relatively quickly and at a very low cost. And they can also be utilized in very confined spaces. So in many ways, drones can do what things before could not. So in the Russia-Ukraine war, for example, the drone has become a really notable weapon because it has led to Ukraine's first counterattack. Ukraine has used the first-person view, the FPV drone, which is a small suicide drone that's equipped with cameras, but also it allows the operators to control it freely, and they explode when they reach their target. And they're also relatively affordable. They're about 400,000 to 660,000 won. And so in this way, it has shifted the dynamics of the Ukraine-Russia war, even if it may be temporary. And in the Middle East, the Israeli-developed drone Extender has been an example of a drone that is capable of blasting locked doors and identifying objects and also avoiding collision in buildings and in underground tunnels. So we're definitely seeing this influence of the drones in both conflicts.
The experts would say that the drones have become the integral part of modern warfare since early 2000s, about 20-something years ago. So, Professor Lee, would you say that the drones are here with us as part of the modern warfare?
So yes, we have to think about why drones are so important in the modern warfares. So I would say there are a couple of reasons. The first is about the asymmetric capabilities. Let's think about the modern conventional traditional warfares. For example, the World War II, Middle East war in the late 1990s. So in that warfares, the conventional military capability, for example, tanks, aircraft carriers, or jet fighters, these are the key military assets to win the war. But here, the term I'm saying asymmetric capability, here comes a we have to take into consideration a really important factor, which is the cost. So what Professor Kim mentioned, the drones are really cheap, but their lethal power, the impact on the real warfare battlefields are tremendous. Let's think about the FPV drone, for example. The FPV stands for the first person view drones. FPV drone pilots. He's just sitting in a room or in a bunker, and he's operating a less than $300 or less than $1,000 drone and kill $1 million of tanks. So this is why we are thinking about and calling about the asymmetric capability is so high with relative low cost. And this is the reason why Ukraine, the military expert and pundits, they expected when Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, there was a dominant victory from the Russian side. But because of the role and the asymmetric capability from the military combat drones, it was the game changers. And this is why we have to really think about it, the role and the drones in the future and the current warfares.
But my concern is that if North Korea launches multiple drones to the civilian population in South Korea, God forbid, then I mean, it's a great challenge to the national defense of South Korea.
Yes, this is absolutely right. So the traditional threat from North Korea, it comes from the conventional military capability. For example, the ballistic missiles, the tanks, the infantries, the artilleries that are located across the DMZs. Right. But here's recently Kim Jong-un unveiled the combat drones and a video clip that symbolized how a North Korean military drones attacks and destroy a South Korean tanks. So here then a new threat into the South Korean calculations.
As drones are recognized as an effective weapon, countries around the world strive to develop advanced unmanned aerial vehicle for military purposes. It is predicted that the global market for military drones is growing so fast to reach $14.4 billion in 2023 to $35.6 billion by 2030. So, Professor Kim, which countries are so-called global powerhouses in terms of production and sales of drones?
So as Professor Lee mentioned, these drones are very attractive, and so there are many and cost effective, and so many countries around the world are trying to invest more and purchase more of these drones. Right now, depending on different reports, the US and China are considered drone powerhouses, but also Turkey has been considered a global powerhouse. The US is a major exporter of armed drones around the world, whereas China has several models, including the Wingloong 1 and the Wingloong 2, and recently they unveiled the Wingloong 3. And also there are other countries that are now kind of trying to also join in as one of the global powerhouses. So South Korea is planning to produce stealth and small drones this year. Israel has exported AI-equipped drones. Russia has also announced plans to enhance its drone production. And as I mentioned before, Ukraine is also using drones. And as Professor Lee mentioned also, North Korea is also using drones as well. So we are seeing a lot of different players in the global realm trying to gain access to these drones.
A lot of proliferation of producers. They are releasing AI-enabled war drones. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un also called for the active adoption of AI technology in developing drones. Personally, how serious is this threat by North Korea?
So yes, talking directly about the North Korean drone threats, I will try to explain a little about the AI-enabled drone capability. Actually, the experts and pundits, they classify the AI-powered drones in 4 different levels. The level 1, it's the full control by humans. It's the human beings, they have a full control about operating the drones. The level 2 is a replacement to some degree of humans. This means there's autonomous simple missions. For example, just the turn off the engine switch, on and off, then the drones can, with the AI-enabled capability, the drones can itself. And also level 3 is the supervision of human beings. So this is a autonomous multitasking level supervised by human beings. A multitasking autonomous capability means AI itself, it can operating and do it, and all it's a supervision under control by human beings. The first level is the full autonomy. And this is all decisions are made by drones by itself. There's no intervention, no control by human beings. And I will give you an example. So let's think of, I told you there's a FPV pilots. This is actually part of the level 1 and level 2 versions. But the level 4 version is a AI-powered drones itself fly to for example, the Russian territory and then they collect all the information in their warfare battlefields. And they then discern, oh, we have to target this, and then by its own decision, it fires the missiles or any kind of like bombs to attack and to destroy the tanks. And think about how powerful it is. So the current kind of stage right now in terms of the AI-powered drones, the military experts and pundits that said it's level 1 or 2, one or two. But it's just the time matters. Like in a couple of years or in a near like 10 years, the experts that think the AI-powered, the full autonomy military drones will like emerge in the real battlefields.
So how about North Korea's capability?
Do you remember what in 2022 December happened? There was a North Korean UAV entered the South Korean territory and took pictures about the blue
But they were not really AI type of
Yes, exactly. So
control.
This is actually really a nascent level of drones. Right. So then we have to think about it like in what like stage right now is North Korea's drone capability is. My assessment or evaluation about the North Korean drone capability, it's really a nascent level right now. So it's all controlled by the human beings, but still, the fact that there was a huge criticism to the South Korean military that South Korean the military was not able to detect the UAV that was crossed the DMZ and took pictures. What is the implication about this? Even a nascent type of military drones can pose a huge military threat to South Korea. And think about it, what if a level 4 AI-powered drones operated by North Korean military?
I see. Let's talk about the South Korean military capabilities to operate drones. First game, South Korea is a leading country in terms of manufacturing and exporting most advanced military equipment. In the drone sector, where is it now? Where is it standing in terms of a drone producer?
Right, so as of now, the South Korean military operates over 510 unmanned reconnaissance drones, which serve various roles, including surveillance as well as reconnaissance rather than offensive purposes. And they are being utilized at various levels, including Air Force, Navy, Army, and battalion level operations. And right now, Korea plans to double its drone forces by 2026, and the military has established a drone operations command, which is tasked with real-time surveillance, decision-making, and strike operations during wartime. So as Professor Lee mentioned, because of these concerns related to North Korea, it does seem as though South Korea is trying to up its game related to these drones.
The emergence of military drones is naturally leading to the development of anti-drone technologies. Last September, South Korea launched a Drone Operations Command. It participated in the latest Korea-US joint military exercise for the first time to bolster the nation's defense capabilities against drone attacks. So, Professor Lee, is South Korean military well prepared to counter drone attacks from North Korea? This is a very far-fetched imaginary scenario, but we got to be prepared for that.
Yes, this is absolutely right. But one thing I want to highlight is still, like every experts and pundits, they're talking about drone is a game changer. But we have to think about the importance of modern warfare. For example, tanks, jet fighters. So I want to ask you, like, if you're like the commander of South Korea, the chief, for example, a commander in a battlefield, and I will give you two options. Do you want to have jet fighters or do you want to have a drone?
Of course, jet fighters.
Yes, exactly, right. So it's pretty intuitive, the questions. But here is because of the emergence of the importance of drones, there's kind of like overemphasizing the importance of drones. Still, jet fighters and the tanks, aircraft carriers, they are important. And we don't have to underestimate the current conventional important assets. But in that sense, drones, we have to think about more as a supplementary, complementary military assets that can upgrade it in general, the military capabilities. So going back to your original questions, then how can South Korea can prepare to the military drones attacks from North Korea? Then one thing is we need a more like a thorough, rigid, and robust intelligence systems. For defense, the North Korean threat, the primary system is the three-axis system, which consists of kill chain, KAMD, which stands for Korea Air and Missile Defense Systems, and KMPR, the Korea massive punishment and retaliations. So the South Korean military, the government have to think about it, how we can like take into consideration in the drone attacks, and can I integrate a new system to the 3-axis systems. And definitely, as Professor Kim mentions, the threat from North Korean drone attack will definitely increase. And they will more actively and effectively kind of use it preemptively. So we have to think about it, how the current defense systems can counter and defend the new type of military threat from North Korea.
The arrival of new weapons makes modern wars increasingly lethal. Will there be days soon when we witness the end of the current wars in Ukraine and in Gaza? Let's hope for the best. Let's move on to the next topic. Subscription businesses are thriving these days, and a lot of people use at least one subscription service. Please take a look at a video clip first.
Not only over-the-top content and ebooks, but also flowers, socks, alcohol drinks, laundry, and house cleaning are available for subscription services. The subscription economy is recently broadening its horizons. Eugene is a subscriber to various services and programs.
OTT, 마켓, 전자책, 꽃 이렇게 해가지고 한 10가지 정도로 사용하고 있고 달에 8만 원 중반에서 9만 원 초반대 이 정도 나가는 것 같아요. 가장 큰 이유는 언제든지 해지가 가능하다. 그리고 내가 사는 거에 비해서는 굉장히 저렴하긴 하거든요. 달로 치면. 그래서 계속 이용을 하고 있는 것 같아요.
Including OTT platforms. It is not easy to maintain home appliances appropriately. After using an appliance subscription service on a trial basis, she found it satisfactory and has been subscribing to it for months.
당장 내가 구매하는데 큰 비용을 들이지 않고 달에 적은 비용으로 구독해 볼 수 있고 또 체험해 볼 수 있으니까 그게 가장 큰 장점인 것 같아요.
Regular deliveries of milk and newspapers are the initial form of the subscription service. Next came rental services for water purifiers and massage chairs. Currently, with the application of big data and cloud computing, subscription services are becoming more tailored to consumers' needs. What is the difference among lease, rental, and subscription? Leasing is associated with ownership. Customers are entitled to the ownership of products upon signing a contract. A rental agreement is typically about short-term use of products without ownership. In some cases, repairs and maintenance services are not included. Subscription is a more service-oriented model. Compared to rental, it is easier for subscribers to end the services with flexible payment options. Many companies are offering service models combining rental and subscription. A recent survey found that 9 out of 10 Korean consumers are using 4 types of subscription services on average. Subscription services are emerging as a major business model, as the paradigm of consumption is shifting from traditional purchasing and owning to renting and subscribing.
Deliveries of milk and newspaper can be seen as the first model of subscription services, but I have never imagined subscription businesses would be expanding like this. Could you explain more reasons why the subscription businesses have been so popular?
I think there could be 5 reasons.
5 reasons?
Convenience, cost effectiveness, customization and personalizations, and access to up-to-date contents and latest version, and the last reason might be the discovery of new products or contents. But it's convenient. We don't need to like remember or reorder a new product, just the new platforms.
Click, right?
They always like provide a new informations and they advertise new album, for example, the new product, and it's really cost effective. It's for example, Coupang, they provide a free delivery system. If you have subscribed to the service, then you just need to, and also there's a discount from a certain level of.
And you save time, right? You don't have to travel to the store to get the item.
And it's related to the access to the update and new products. And then it's really easy to discover the new products and contents.
I think the most important point for me personally is the credibility of the service, that you can trust that the item that you order will be the item that you can trust, right? In the past, you cannot really trust the company to actually deliver the item that you actually selected, right? And now you can return the item, and the quality of the item is virtually guaranteed, right? So, Professor Kim, we have a clear understanding why subscription businesses are so attractive to consumers. But what about the companies, right? Companies are making money?
Yes, they are making a lot of money.
Our money, right?
And so, in many ways, for companies, these subscriptions are a good source of predictable, regular earnings. They have a good idea of how many customers they have that are subscribed to their, not just the company, but to particular products. And because of that, by 2026, the global subscription economy market is projected to reach $599 billion US dollars. So we can imagine that that's a lot of money. And also from the company's perspective, data is collected for personalized services. When we listen to a particular song or if we buy a particular product, the algorithms will then automatically bring us more products or music that are appealing to us. And so for example, if I look up a bed for my dog, after that all the algorithms will be based on dog products, and then I will feel compelled to buy more things. And so in this way, from the company's perspective, they can find ways to appeal to the customers. Also, they save on marketing and operational costs. Once they have subscribers, they don't need to try to market their products anymore because their subscribers already appreciate their goods and their products. And finally, if they have subscribers, they can test new products and get feedback from their subscribers as well. And so they can ask for reviews and provide discounts on their products. And so in many ways for the companies, they are at an advantage in this way.
Didn't you sometimes feel that you became enslaved by the control of the big companies because you no longer have the autonomy over your appetite for product?
I believe it's a love-hate relationship. I love the convenience, and sometimes I get frustrated when I think about it in that perspective.
Subscription services surely offer benefits, but there are also problems that should be fixed. Professor Kim, what do you see in the future? Will this subscription business continuously thriving? At our expenses.
At our expenses, of course, especially because, as Professor Lee mentioned, the transaction is so easy that we're just clicking away.
And you can always return the item if you do not like it.
Right. Unless we get too busy. We don't know. But so we do see that the companies are reaping a lot of benefits from the consumers and the and particularly the subscribers. But also, I think that there is also a bleak aspect to all of this. The pessimistic side is that, now a lot of consumers are starting to struggle with subscription fatigue. I am subscribed to so many things that I don't know what I am subscribed to anymore, and that it can lead to a lot of exhaustion. It can lead to a lot of stress because there's just too many things that I'm trying to manage at once. And so a lot of consumers feel overwhelmed by the number of subscriptions they're trying to manage. We might try to cancel one and forget, and there are these kinds of management aspects that can lead to extreme fatigue. But also there's the issue of market monopolization. So major players like YouTube continue to increase their prices, right? And if the prices continue to go up, then consumers are going to slowly start to drop out, or subscribers are going to slowly start to end their subscriptions. And this also reduces consumer choice because these larger companies tend to monopolize the market. That gives us less opportunities to subscribe to other things. But also, in addition to all of this, the issue of population decline may also affect the subscription services as well for these companies. And so in many ways, there's additional measures should be made to protect both the consumers and the companies, but right now we need to focus on protecting the subscribers.
Can you actually recall when we began to live with the internet, let alone living with the internet subscription services? Technology is progressing so fast that it really changes every aspect of our life. This is all for today. We'll be back next week with more newsworthy issues. Professors, thank you so much for your analysis and experiences.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching and goodbye.